Hey everybody, welcome to the SPED Homeschool Christmas party. This is our first annual party, so we're going to see how this goes. and so there's going to be team members and board member popping in and out of our broadcast right now. Tracy Gokley and Amy Vickery are with me, and thank you ladies for popping in from your neck of the woods, which is very far away from each other. So, but I'm going to have Tracy tell us a little bit about her family and where they're celebrating Christmas. And then I think you have some things to share with our audience.
Sure. Yeah.
Well. Yeah. Well, welcome.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I have 3 kids, 1st, 5th, and 7th grade this year. We've been homeschooling from the beginning, and my husband's a pastor, and we live out in Oregon, miles and miles away from all our family. So yes. our church family is our family during the holidays. So.
Yeah, that's a good point to make, is that not always do we celebrate Christmas with our immediate family, but we make the best of the family we have around, and our family's been the same way. We've lived in Oregon, back to Minnesota, and now in Texas, and church does end up being our family. And, so what does that look like for you guys?
We've always enjoyed having people into our home during the holidays, and so that's looked different every year depending on, what group comes over.
Right.
So, but it's been a special part, and my kids are very extroverted, so they love that part of it. And anytime we have not had a crowd, they're always disappointed. It's just us. So we love to open our home during the holidays and just have people come in. So.
Yeah, and I know, Amy, your kids are very social too. They love having people around. So.
They do. In fact, I took my son, my oldest, with me tonight to work because he was just kind of restless. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Work. I do some tutoring, and so he went with me and did some schoolwork there.
So fun. So Tracy, you had some things that you wanted to share with our audience. I'm not exactly even sure what you're going to bring to the party. So so I'm excited to hear too.
Yeah. One of the things that I guess is on my heart, one of the messages is just the idea of simplifying the holidays. Yeah. Because it's so easy for things to become too much.
Yeah.
There's so much stimulation. There's so much to do. There's so much on the calendar. And it ends up being so much that you don't really get to even enjoy and celebrate the things that are most meaningful.
Exactly.
Because busy doesn't always mean productive. Good. It doesn't always mean meaningful. It doesn't always mean good. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I guess the lessons over the years that have helped me most from other women in my life is just this idea of a little goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. And our kids don't remember all of that stuff. There's very little things that they pick out, and those are like the big memories.
Exactly.
Although maybe you only spent a couple minutes on them.
Yes, it's those elements of just stripping things back down to, okay, what is most meaningful for us? And that can look different for every family, but just starting with that question, like, what is most meaningful for us?
Point to make. Definitely.
If there could only be one thing, what would that one thing be?
Yeah.
What would that one activity be? What would that one food be?
Right, exactly. You don't have to be baking every day of the month.
Yes. And that was a big one for me because we have multiple food allergies. So I cook everything from scratch. And that's a lot of cooking on a normal day.
Right.
And then you throw the holidays in there. And early on, I made the mistake of thinking I needed to replace all of our favorite foods and make it all.
I did the same thing. Yes. And yes, it drives you batty.
It does.
You can't do it.
And you just spend the whole 3 months in the kitchen. And so I had to learn, okay, I had to ask that question. If there was one food, what would it be? And I talked with my kids and my husband, we all kind of thought, what are those foods that mean the holidays to us,
Right. Yeah.
And what we've done is just for us, there's one food per holiday.
So what are
just
they?
For
We
that.
wanna know.
Yeah. So around Halloween, I do it's kind of like caramel corn, except we can't do corn and we can't do caramel. So it's popped sorghum with like this rice syrup that gets caramelized, but it's like Cracker
cool.
Jacks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Halloween. And then, of course, November brings everything pumpkin.
Right.
So we do the pumpkin pie. That's important for us, and the traditional Thanksgiving foods. And then at Christmas, it's Christmas cookies. We could do fudge, we could do all of this thing, but for my kids, it's the Christmas cookies.
And do they have
and so too? They enjoy decorating. Yes. Yeah. So that's our one big activity. The one thing I, focus on making during that time. And that's really helped me to enjoy it.
Yeah.
To enjoy those moments rather than just rushing to the next recipe, rushing to the next activity.
Like, okay, I checked that off my list. Now I got to get to the next thing. And the kids are like, wait, this is good.
Right.
We're going to enjoy it together. Mm-hmm.
And then protecting that one thing that brings the most meaning to your holidays.
That's a very good point. Is you don't just do it, but you make sure it gets done.
Yeah. And anything extra is just the icing on the cake kind of. It's just
right.
But you got the one thing that was most meaningful and it got done and you got to enjoy it and celebrate it. So identifying what was most meaningful. And then another lesson that I've had to learn over the years and relearn a few times is creating margin, creating the space for the holidays. Because holidays mean more. And so if I'm trying to cram more into an already busy life, there are going to be things that have to get canceled to make room for the holidays. There are going to be things that I have to say no to make space for the meaningful aspects of the holidays. So even from an everyday perspective, stripping down. So
definitely.
For instance, I arrange our entire school year so that I can have the month of December off from homeschool. I don't homeschool in December. Like Thanksgiving hits and then we're done because it all begins. And I want my focus to be where it needs to be.
Yeah, we've always done if we have done school, it's been unit studies. And so it's always been around the school schedule. And so that has really helped with my anxiety. of feeling like, okay, now I got to get this done and that done. And so this year I'm teaching my daughter how to bake because she really has not gotten into cooking with me. She's realizing how much muscle strength it takes to stir things.
Yeah.
She was like getting tired stirring frosting today. And I'm like, just keep going, you'll do it. But so yeah, definitely, prioritizing that. And that's a very good point.
Because
I'm sorry. I've also been stripping down our schedules and just touching on those one or two key things that I know need to keep going so we don't lose those skills, but not doing everything that we had been doing previously.
Right.
Yep.
And the holidays, again, they provide so much opportunity for some of these other skills, some of these other character building lessons, your random acts of kindness, your homemade gifts, there's so many lessons that are naturally part of the holidays. So even when we eliminate homeschool, we're not eliminating learning. There's still a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a different focus. They're naturally part of the holidays. So even when we eliminate homeschool, we're not eliminating learning. There's still a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a different focus. So we're naturally part of the holidays.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna mute Elaine. I think there's something going on in the background there. So that wasn't me talking. I think. Oh, you've got your computer audio going, Elaine. That's why you're hearing the back feed of what I was saying earlier. We have a time delay on it, so yeah. If you can have a headpiece in or something, if you're listening or that. So. anyways, sorry to interrupt you, Tracy. That was actually Elaine's computer, not me talking. So my mouth wasn't moving, but I was, filling in. So, sorry to interrupt you, Tracy. That was so Elaine, we can hear the recording on Facebook that's playing on your computer. I just muted you again. So,
I like that.
so anyways, try to work this out. I just muted you again. So, I can still, if you can turn the volume down on so you're not supposed to be watching on Facebook. You're supposed to be watching on the Be Live instead, and that will keep you up to the current time. Okay, so I know, Tracy, you're on a time limit here, so I want you to finish what you had to say, and we'll figure out Elaine's audio in just a second here.
I think that about wrapped it up. Yeah, just the idea of finding out what that one meaningful thing is, and then creating margin for it. So, yeah, that's such an important thing to do, and I think we sometimes want to do that, but yet we want to all fit it all in too. Yeah. And I was even told I went to go hear a woman speak that she was talking about millennials. And I know that, we have a lot of young moms that are just starting homeschooling. And she said the one thing that the millennials have a really hard time with is we want to do it all, and we are determined to do it all. And so that goes against the grain of that generation of saying, you know what, I can, and so I'm going to. But the reality is, it's not going to do it for very long. Right.
Get burnt out.
And ironically, it's our fear of missing out. That makes us want to do it all. And yet when we try to do it all, that's exactly what happens, is that we miss it all. We miss out. Yes. Because we're so stretched that we can't actually be present and enjoy what's happening. So,
Yeah. So true.
Well, I'm going to say goodbye.
Okay. All right. Well,
Merry Christmas.
Have a good evening. And thanks for joining us from Oregon. And so, all right. We'll see you later, Tracy. And Tracy does a lot of the editing for SPED Homeschool. If you see our blogs come through, she is the one who perfects our English. So thank you, Tracy, for what you do, and we'll have a good evening. Thanks. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Well, hi, Amy. And I'm hoping Elaine pops back on. She had the Facebook feed pulled up, which was actually feeding into our broadcast, and so that's so hopefully she figures out the Be Live link. I think I sent it to her. So so I first want to introduce Amy and let you know that on our YouTube channel just today went up a cookie video that she and her sons did. That's very fun. It'll be rebroadcast on Facebook in a couple weeks, but also your blog with the recipe comes out next week on our.
There you go. You saw my 2-year-old come in. He was the one that was licking the batter during the video. So he just got in trouble with Granny trying to use her decorating beads for a jump rope. So life is dull around here.
Yeah, oftentimes when you have boys, Christmas decorations turn into lots of different things that they weren't ever meant to be used as.
That's what the high shelves are for. Although you have to watch out for stools.
Chairs. Yes, exactly. And tipping things. I totally understand.
Very well.
Yes. Yeah. We have stories.
I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Christmas is much quieter around our house now that my boys are adults. But now we have a kitten, and last year we didn't even have decorations on our tree. This year we went with only the unbreakable stuff, and so far nothing's broken, so and the tree hasn't tipped over yet. But yeah, it's a whole new.
They had a tree on Facebook for that. It was just the trunk and then like 3 branches at the top.
Yeah, that probably would be good. I mean, he's declawed, so he could not climb it, but still, yeah. So
our cat has left our tree alone so far, so she's been.
That's a good thing.
It's been very nice. So
yes, the boys just play with all the Christmas decorations, right?
Anything they can get a hold of. So we put our village in the train out this year, and so that's been a whole new set of challenges.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we are talking about Christmas, celebrating Christmas as our team. And you've probably, if you've watched the broadcast before, I interviewed Amy a while ago. But you write a lot of awesome blogs on our website. And so I'm going to try to pop Elaine on now. She's coming back again, and we'll see if we've got her audio and can throw her in there. Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
Hey. Yeah, I can hear you, and I'm not hearing myself.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I couldn't have the Facebook on at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, you could have muted us, but then you wouldn't be able to hear me. Yeah. It has, the funny thing is I tried once to watch the Facebook Live while we were broadcasting, and there's about a 3 or 4 second time delay. And so it doesn't work. So, and I'm going to let you know, everybody who's watching, you can post up questions. Let us know what you're doing for Christmas too. Or some tips, hints that you have for Christmas for kids with sensory issues. If you have things to share with our community, recipes that are your favorites, put those links up in the feed, and we'll make sure that everybody gets to see those. So that's kind of fun. But we're just talking about Christmas. So, Amy, what does your family do that's unique around Christmas time, or are your favorite traditions?
Well, my family's young, 72, so we're still kind of establishing our traditions and getting things in place.
That's a very good point, is that, your traditions will change as your kids get older. And, some things they will hold on to from that age until they're adults. And other ones they'll just completely forget about.
So we do up on the shelf. I don't know if you can see him. He's actually doing a piggyback ride up on the, I can't get it up there, on the snowman up there on the shelf.
Okay.
So we've got the elf on the shelf, but because my kids are very hands-on, they have a new thing this year called the pets. And so those can touch, because they're not supposed to touch the elf.
Okay.
So that was really smart, because my kids have to have something they can touch. Because especially my oldest one, that's how he learns. He learns through that kinesthetic and that touching. When he meets somebody, he has to touch them, and especially if they're wearing an interesting looking fabric. And so it's just really so looking for traditions like that are things that they can do, things that they can see and touch and feel, and those are really important to them. We made cookies this year.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to do that with them, and my oldest has been really trying to figure out the whole cooking thing and measuring and all of that. We've had some ups and downs baking together, but it's been fun. One time I told him, we need a cup of water. So he goes and gets a mug of water.
Oh,
a cup. Matter. I'm going, okay, we're going to pick this up. Okay, now this turned out okay. However, a little bit better if we follow the directions. So, but I baked with my grandmother, and I have so many wonderful memories of baking with her. And so, that's something I want to pass along to him and share with him. And he really just blooms and thrives when we get a chance to do that. And so it's been fun. But it's
great. Time in the kitchen is so special. That and I have some kids that love it, and some kids that avoid it at all costs. I asked my 19-year-old when he was ever going to learn to cook, and he said, well, when I have to. So I'm going on a cruise next week, and he has to cook because otherwise he's not eating. Because he's staying here with the dog and working. So, yeah. So we'll see how well that goes.
I remember learning to cook spaghetti with my mom. They had an office in the next room over from the kitchen. And I would walk in the office and say, okay, what's next? And she'd tell me, put the water on or put the noodle in or whatever. And I'd go back into the kitchen and I'd do whatever it was. And I'd go in and what's next? That was how I learned how to cook.
My sister and I always joke that we both learned how to cook because our mother was such a bad cook that we had to eat. It's really sad, but my kids used to ask to bring food to grandma's. So, yes. Sorry, Mom. Actually, I'm going to be interviewing my mom in a couple of weeks. So you may not want to tell her. No, she knows that. But she always appreciated when the two of us would then go into the kitchen and she didn't have to cook. It wasn't something that she actually enjoyed doing. But yeah, we always joke about that. But
well, I just figured it was the only way we were going to eat before like 8 or 9 o'clock because my parents worked into the evening every night. They worked so hard. And so it was just, necessity. It was like, learning to do the laundry before I was tall enough to reach the knobs on the back of the washing machine. You got to make sure you close the lid before you climb down the washing machine. Otherwise,
that's okay. I still can't get my stuff out of the inside of my washing machine. We have one of those big ones, and it's so funny because my feet will be up in the air while I'm trying to get my stuff out of the bottom of the washing machine. So that's a whole other story. But yeah, my daughter and I have a stool next to it just to get our laundry out.
I bought a front load washer.
Yeah, I like the top loading ones. But yeah, it's not for short people. So, but that is, yeah, it's one of those things, we do at the holidays. We spend more time in the kitchen, and they're good life experiences, like you're talking about for our kids, but they also develop traditions. They're things that they're going to remember. And food has that ability to just connect us. The smells and the tastes bring us back to Christmas.
I was going to say it's multi-sensory. Multi-sensory, definitely. So yeah, definitely. So. And like Tracy was talking about, she has a certain foods that she focuses on at each holiday. And, we have many of the same things because we have multiple allergens in our family too. And so,
right.
And, and even with our traditions and the things that we do, there are certain things that my youngest can't eat. And so, trying to find some new things for him. And that was what those chocolate chip pumpkin cookies were all about. Was they've been a process of us coming up with something that the boys would enjoy that my youngest could have. And it started out as just a waffle recipe, and then it became a waffle pumpkin recipe, and then we decided to add the chocolate chip set to them in Thanksgiving. So it's just this process of creating that recipe, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Elaine, what do you guys have any food allergies, or do you have certain foods that you eat at holidays?
We tried gluten-free, dairy-free for a little while for Aaron's sake, but we've kind of given that up. But everybody enjoys things. I do have to watch sugar because Mike, my husband's diabetic type 2.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't mean he won't try it.
It's just not good for him, right? Yeah.
Right. You were talking, Amy, about baking with your grandmother. I never had that experience, and I know both of you are on Facebook with me, but I'm getting the joy of getting to bake cookies with my granddaughter.
I saw pictures. Yes, that looked like so much fun.
Her first year in 2012, she could sit up in the high chair and put some stuff on the high chair tray for her to play with. So every year, made her a little apron each year when she's outgrown. The first year was a bib. I had her name on there with her first Christmas, and then go on from there. But I think for some reason, sadly, I don't remember my daughters baking with me as much as I do my granddaughter. Maybe because that was, my oldest daughter's 36 and my younger one's 33. It was a few years ago that we did that together. So I'm getting started again. But traditions are big, I brought a couple to show you, if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. We want to see them.
Yeah. Well, the first one is when I was 12 years old, I read in a newspaper about the idea of creating a Christmas scrapbook. And so I said, okay, so what do I need for this? You know, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. And so, oh, gee, a folder from school? Sure. At the time, it would have been like this, like the paper, the cardboard version.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Real simple. And then like maybe wrapping paper, you could wrap the outside and that sort of thing. And so I started that. And so, you know, like construction paper, the line paper to write on.
Oh,
so
yeah. Yep.
For each day of the Christmas season that we were on break, those 2 weeks. So I mean, mind you, that was 46 years ago. 46 years of these. But
wow.
Because they were falling apart, I had to go through and kind of reconstruct them.
Mm-hmm.
I got me a big binder, a 3-ring binder, and I started taking them apart and putting them in here. I don't know if you can see that. 72. So some old Christmas cards that I picked out, I put that in felt, and I had like one of those folders originally.
Right. Yeah.
So I'd have like something. This was a preface. As I got older, it became the Christmas letter for the family.
Okay.
So I even gave myself a table of contents.
Wow.
And then I wrote a diary every day. I'd take newspaper clippings out. Like this was actually a family friend from church, and I went to school with the oldest daughter. And they had cookie recipes, like old German cookie recipes.
Wow.
So and then my mom gave me some. So this is where sometimes I'll go back for old recipes for cookies. German is our background, so I would do a lot there. So and then 1970.
Yeah, those recipes from your heritage are so important in your holidays. We make lefse every year, which probably neither of you know anything about. It's like a tortilla, but it's made with mashed potatoes. And you roll it out super thin, and it's a Norwegian bread.
Oh,
And, yeah, it's
You
very
know,
good. Very hard to make, unfortunately.
my mom called them little life cookies, and you know those are the cutout cookies.
Mm-hmm.
I recently found near here in an old antique shop a little cookie cutter. I didn't bring it with me. It's red. It's like almost translucent red. It was a little lamb. I went, oh, those. So you know, I bought it just for the sake of nostalgia, I guess.
Right.
But I have to say, as years went by, I got married, and things changed. So this one I showed you first is 81. Not a whole lot there. 1982 changed everything. Our first child. So now it becomes very decorative and pictures in it. This is still a simple, just a manila folder. And so I did that. And baby 4 comes along, and there's baby number 2. Now, some of them didn't have pictures, but the decorative work on them was fun. And I mean to tell you, these things are full of stuff.
Oh, yeah. And you could put your kids' artwork or whatever from that year, that Christmas, and, or whatever recipes you tried that maybe you liked.
The ones you like.
That's a great idea.
In 1988, our first son was born, so he added, every year added to the family. So those are fun. And, of course, presents. It was a special present we gave or received or whatever.
Right.
First were added. I was going to back up to 1975, and I didn't do that one. 1975 was when my dad died, so I was 15 years old. So that Christmas, years and years later, reading back on the journal, you go, "Oh, this is hard to read."
Yeah,
but that's where you were at the time. My sharing this is if you've got kids or anybody out there on watching this, encourage your kids to do this because. Years of memories that I can go back, and it's a legacy for my kids. They
Definitely.
Can Mom was doing when she was 16 years old. But I was gonna grab. I showed you the picture of Amy. Hold on. Where did she go? Here she is. So that was 1982, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, 46 years later, they've gotten bigger.
Oh, yes.
Her daughter. So my granddaughter.
Aw.
These have gotten bigger. Of course, all of our kids, well, except Aaron, of course. Well, no, Aaron's an adult, but all but one is married.
Mm-hmm.
Added my stepdaughter came into the picture in 1987, and that Christmas, and then she joined us living with us in 88. So no, sorry, 88, 89. I'll get there in a minute. I'm trying to find a picture of, I could not find my 2000 because that's the year Aaron was born.
Oh.
At homeschool, and you know what? Okay, this is as close as we're going to come. Here, sitting on the drum stool because my oldest son played drums. We had drums in the living room for years.
Oh, yeah.
He got broken in sitting on the drumstick. I can't find the 2000, but Matthew was holding him, and he was so tiny, sitting on his lap. This is the other thing I started. The year that Mike and I got married 40 years ago, I wanted to create our own stockings. Well, I had to make new ones because they wear out. But I did my own pattern. And
Aaron's visiting.
Yeah, Mike's doing. So this is my husband's more recently, and mine. It's just my own thing, and everyone is different. Here's Aaron's. He was born in 2000, so he was a millennial baby. He graduated homeschool in 2000. So I used the same fabric for her little scrapbook I made for her, and there was enough left. I said, this baby's getting his own blue. In 1988, when my oldest son was born, I wasn't doing this. So that year, believe this or not, I won a bingo game at church. And because Matthew is a guitar player, I found this years later and the button.
Oh, cute.
So each kid has their own. Here's Joseph. The year I made this for him, he was playing handbell. So it was as a teenager. I made it fun. And both of these guys have gotten married recently. So here's one daughter-in-law. And
yes.
The intention is to put a little heart, like a little, similar to this. But I asked him to find me like a little charm. Because she has a heart. The newest daughter-in-law loves to bake. So I took some of that same fabric and just, it's like whatever I have, I just try to create. And then this is my granddaughter's from a couple years ago I made for her. She liked the reindeer, the little.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, that's cute. The little bow on the end.
So those are just some of the things that I've had fun with. So every time a new person joins the family, I make it's just unique to that person, whatever's on my mind, whatever's on my heart.
That's very special. And instead of trying to make everybody be like one another, let's celebrate your uniqueness and bring that out at Christmas time.
We've even sent some to Bulgaria. We have a very good friend who we met about 20 years ago, and she actually came to live in Texas. The year I was born, so 18 years ago. And so she lives locally. And I made one for her dad and her mom when they were here. And so one of them went back to Bulgaria, and I got to embroider on there his name, her dad's name in Bulgarian. My husband had to help me with that. So it did that. It's just kind of fun. Get to share that. Some of them have gifts. So I don't know. That's part of what we do anyway. I love to read stories too. I had 2 stories I was going to share. Oh, here they are. These are old books. To read this one for St. Nicholas Day. Santa, are you for real? Oh,
yes. I've seen that one before.
On Amazon and Half Price Books, and these are expensive. Ooh. One was $678. I went, no.
Yeah, no.
It goes back to my childhood. I picked this up at a local pharmacy. It's a Christmas Carol book. It's got Christmas carols, and it's so much fun because I can pull it out now and share it with Avery. And I have to admit, it's having Avery after having Aaron being nonverbal and stuff for after so many years. I feel spoiled. It's not what it was like to have a neurotypical child around, but I believe that he's getting to see her walk through all her milestones, and so he is this? No, I'm gonna go grab a book like this and go walk off. And I said, oh, honey, wait. Easily torn. But
Oh.
he loves the tree. I always have to be careful where to put the tree. I don't know about you, Amy, but you were talking about the sensory. Our tree does not usually last the entire season, so I started putting it up at the end of the season. But years ago, we decided we can put it up in the dining room on a table because we're now closed. We have a half door, like a Dutch door between the kitchen and the living room with a little block on it, so it's half door. So if I don't want him in there, he can't go in there, at least until we're in there with him.
Mm.
The things you have to be creative when you have these issues.
You do, yeah, and that's, you know, I think our kids then appreciate it too, that, you know, we give them those boundaries. That, you know, a lot of parents, they think, well, I'm limiting my child, but no, your child is much more comfortable when you make those boundaries when they can't. It lets them know that they're safe, and yeah.
He always enjoys the tree, and he's said, Amy, sensory. He always wants to touch the tree limbs, so I have to watch so he doesn't scratch his hand.
Oh yeah.
He takes the ornaments off the tree. We found a few years ago. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Signing Time. With, Rachel Coleman, but they created Signing Time Christmas. So we've been watching that a lot over the years and trying to learn some of the signs for Christmas and all the things, and those are fun.
Yeah.
So
that's another good point. Yeah, the Signing Time ones. I know Jennifer Culmore on our team is, her daughters are very into that. I think they even went to go visit her like ranch or something is very near where they live. So,
well, you know, my chiropractor told me about it the first time, and her kids aren't deaf, but she told me about it. Oh, these are so cool! So I got the whole set, and now the two kids are grown up, and now they're doing Signing Time sentences. So you learn the language. So in a sense, it's like a foreign language that we're getting to learn.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's not really picked up the signs, but he enjoys watching them. So I know to it. So it's fun. The little ones can pick it up so easily.
Oh yeah, my kids watched them, and they weren't nonverbal, and we would check them off from the library when they were young. Yeah.
Thank you for letting me share too much.
Yeah. Yeah. We return them and then we check them out again. And depends on how high demand they are at your library as to how well you can access them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So.
One thing we have started doing is each year we collect kids get to pick out one new ornament to add to the tree. And so that's been fun, getting to pick out those ornaments.
Yes, and then when you unpack them in the years to come, they'll remember that was my ornament that year. And we always put the years on the bottom so that they know.
This is the one my oldest picked out, the hummingbird.
Oh,
really
wow.
Beautiful.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
For this year?
This is for this year. So
pretty.
Yeah. They haven't made it to the tree yet. We have to get our lights on the tree still. The tree's up, but it's not decorated.
Yeah,
I know. I was working last weekend, and I came down, and my husband had the tree up. He had the lights on. He had the banister decorated. I was like, I guess we're done. All I had to do was clean up afterwards. It was kind of nice.
Wow. Hey, that's really good. I haven't had my husband do that. That's not his thing. He goes, honey, you do a real good job with that.
Yeah. I think he knew if he didn't do it, it wouldn't get done this year. So he was very into Christmas. So that's, but yeah.
Sit with us.
But yeah, it's funny you're talking about stockings, Elaine. Hi, Erin. But I unpacked some stuff for Christmas because we moved over the summer, and so all my Christmas stuff is all mixed together with everything else. And I pulled out one box, and I started pulling out these stockings, and they were for my siblings because years ago we had Christmas together at our house, and my brother made all these stockings out of duct tape, red and white duct tape. So I've got these stockings in my stuff with my biological siblings' names on them. So they're coming for Christmas this year, and I said, I'm pulling out your stockings.
So fun. They're all silver duct tape?
No, they're red and white because now they make duct tape in every color that you can imagine. And so I have one brother who makes a lot of things out of duct tape. But, so yeah, wallets, yeah. He's probably made it all. So yeah, another thing that we do when we get together with my family is we have a talent show. And that is quite fun and embarrassing all at the same time. So I usually sit out and say baking's my talent, and I let them all do their magic tricks and sing songs. And
did you say begging was your talent?
Baking is my talent, yes. Yes. Because I'm usually cooking all the food while they're doing everything else.
There you go. Well, somebody's got to do that too.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Well, it's funny, Amy, you were talking about recipes. We aren't, our family did an anti-candida diet, so we went off all sugar for a while. But then when we came back, we went all natural and non-GMO and organic. So a little bit different than what a lot of people do if they're on allergy diets. But still, it's caused me to tweak a lot of our recipes. And like Tracy was saying, don't tweak them all. I attempted that. I have learned a lot of substitutes for things in the process, but yeah, there were a lot of things we just had to let go of.
It's hard, isn't it, though?
It is.
To find a new favorite.
Yeah, exactly. Because I really can't use corn syrup. That is there. You can't find non-GMO corn syrup. But so making like divinity. It's not that fluffy white. You can't do it anymore. It turns out brown if you do it with honey, and yeah.
Be changed. They just have to stay the same.
I know. Yeah.
One of my favorites this time of year is his sister and brother-in-law make chocolate fudge and chocolate covered cherries.
Oh.
So here in Oklahoma, he has to bring some back.
Mm-hmm.
You can't create that with sugar-free. He goes, I know.
Yeah, there are some things that just require sugar.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to ask y'all too, what about sharing with your kids how to give? Like, what do you do during the holidays? When you're wanting to teach them how to give to others, like before as Christmas is coming, or maybe right after Christmas, the day after is Boxing Day. Do you do something special, tradition that you'd like to do?
We've done different things. The problem is we've moved so many times, and so to develop a tradition, it's like through a charity. So we've worked like Thanksgiving meals for they open up the doors at a church, and we've served Thanksgiving instead of having a meal, a big meal on our own. We just went home afterwards and had that. And of course, the Operation Christmas Child boxes when my kids were little, that was a super easy way to do that. But yeah, it seems to change every year and now that my kids are out of the house, it's, we just, our church has given us in the past opportunities to, like a giving tree type of thing. And so, just going out and shopping, what do you think, here's the age of the kid. What do you think they would want? And,
I don't know how to help Aaron understand that idea.
Right.
Ideas. I can do things with Avery. We've done the Samaritans first, the child a couple years ago, and then Angel Tree at church.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some ideas that maybe I haven't even thought of yet of how I can help Aaron understand the idea of giving to someone else.
Right.
His radar.
I know last year we were doing the Korean form of martial arts, which is Kanjomosu, and we went to the belt testing, or actually it was after the belt testing, we went to the belt ceremony, and I had Chandler make little candy canes just out of pipe cleaners, and we made one for all the black belts to help us. And so he went around and he gave one of those to everybody because they had little things for the kids too that they were giving. So he had something to give in return. And so that was kind of nice because it was something he had made himself.
Right.
And so we also were doing the card exchange that someone in the support group put together.
Yes.
And that's fun. cards, but we're also going to sit down at the end of this week and we're going to get our cards ready to send out here pretty soon. And so that, I know Dad's going to take him to donate some food to a food drive. So he's going to have them walk the cans over and donate the food to the box. And so, just little things, we're working through a prayer journal that talks about giving to others and like making something and giving it to the neighbors or something like that. So we're not going to bake the cookies. We'll probably like buy just a little package of cookies. We live next door to the fire station. So sometimes they don't want to take home baked goods. They'd rather have something packaged that they can read the ingredients on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a 2-year-old, right?
I have a 2-year-old also.
Okay.
So
because see, that's where Erin's at.
okay.
So do you think your 2-year-old understands what y'all are doing as far as sharing with somebody else, giving to somebody else?
I think it's going to be interesting to see how much he picks up on this year. So because he's a pretty with it 2-year-old, and so he just is going to be really interesting to notice and see how he deals with the gift giving and stuff like that around Christmas time.
Yeah, and it may be more impactful for Erin to be giving to people within your family. Too, just because he knows those people, and it would be within his sphere of normal, and yet here he's doing something different in that sphere for this time of year, and so that may be a little bit more impactful.
I'm thinking the fact that my other kids at 2, like what Amy was saying, they're pretty on board with what's going on. They're starting to get it. I mean, even Avery. Like I say, I've kind of forgotten until Avery came along. Some of the stuff is just because Aaron, he's never been able to imitate. Imitation is not. And because of autism, it's I don't know if I've heard it said. It's a very selfish type of.
You don't climb up.
So, hug, Mom, hug.
Yeah.
It's easier to take than to give. So, especially.
Right.
He's giving, it can't be food because he's going to put it in his mouth.
Right.
It's hard. Everybody knows the other night, and it was a hi.
All right, go.
Around the table to go see Santa Claus, and Aaron eyed someone's cookies and dropped it right in his mouth. And the poor woman just looked like, what just happened? And I just give her another cookie, please, because what can I do? I can only apologize for his behavior, but he doesn't understand that you can't just take from those social boundaries are so hard for him to understand.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's going to have to be something that you take one instance at a time. Diana's here. So
all the way from Singapore.
Yes, all the way from Singapore. I'm trying to get her comment up on the thing. Oh, it just has me.
It popped up on mine for just a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes, Diana's here from Singapore. So she was going to try to come in on the broadcast if she could, but I'm glad she's at least able to watch. I think because I'm sharing it live in the group, that some people are watching it there, and then I can't show their something. I don't know. I've never done that before. So, yeah. Oh, it's a learning curve.
I was going to the Facebook page and then doing this at the same time, and like you said, it doesn't work.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I can't show her comment for some reason. I can just show her. Oh, there it says good evening. So yes, and it's morning for you. It's like 10 a.m. in Singapore right now. So glad to see you, Diana. So just for those of you that don't know, Diana used to be on our team, and then she moved to Singapore. And she's just been getting settled there. So that's been fun to watch her. And I'm sure their Christmas traditions are very different this year than they were here in Texas. So that happens when we move. I was thinking back as to how many moves that we have made. And, Tracy was on earlier. We used to live in Oregon where she is. And then we moved back to Minnesota by family. But now that we're in Texas, where both of you are, and it changes your traditions. And my kids have just learned to float. And what Tracy was saying, you take the most important things and you make sure those get incorporated into your holiday celebration, but you just have to let the rest go. And having snow at Christmas is something I had to let go of. I very easily let go of that.
We almost got it last year. December 10th was pretty close to Christmas.
I know.
Yeah, a few years ago we had it on Christmas Eve, but it's been probably 15 years ago.
Yeah. And you're up in Dallas, so you're a little closer to where those storms come in. Yeah, Houston. Yeah. Not as often. So, but yeah. Well, we're almost done to the end of the hour. So have you guys been doing this book, Behold? This is the new book that I've added to the consultant network that we're reading through. And Diana's here. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, I just wanted to pop in and say Merry Christmas to all of you and let you know that I miss you.
Yeah, we miss you too.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how is Christmas there?
It's very good. It's very good. It's very busy this year and very different. But I feel like all the stuff that we've focused on with autism and homeschooling and all that stuff has just really come into play here. There's such a need for that in this area. So I think of you guys all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we love that you're popping in and out of our group still. So it's good to see you. And yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me, and don't let me interrupt the conversation. I'm just going to kind of sit in and listen if that's okay. And tell you Merry Christmas.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we were just talking about the book that we're doing. So SPED Homeschool has a whole bunch of different groups. We have our support group. We have our sharing group, which is basically anybody that has anything special needs related to special needs or homeschooling special needs can throw posts in there. And that's where we want you to share lots of stuff because that group has been growing a lot. We just started, I think we have over 200 people already in that group.
That's great.
Yeah. And so the support group is just for support, but then we also have a consultant network. So anybody that works with families who help special needs homeschooling families. But we also, all the special needs consultants from HSLDA are on that group, and all of our team is in that group. And a lot of private consultants are in that group, as well as people that write curriculum. So just anybody. And so that's really cool. But so each month I do a book study, and we're doing Behold this month, and it's a short book, and I'm just sharing quotes every day, weekdays, weekends I take off. But yeah, just to kind of focus on the season, and she's got a lot of really good points about. Her name is Christy Gee, and there's a website that goes with this. Let's see, if you go to beholdadvent.com, she has like a YouTube playlist, connects to different hymns. All based on the different chapters, and that's all free. I mean, the book is, I think on Amazon, it was like $8
or something like that.
Yeah,
they were over the price. It wasn't very much. It was only like $10. So yeah, it was 15 because I looked at it, and then I got it on Kindle for $5.
I read it in an hour and a half. I mean, that's how short it is. So yeah, but
Bible study.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just an Advent book, and she has on that website, beholdadvent.com, as she's got the broken down into the 24 days up to Christmas and through December. So you have to catch up a little bit if you do that.
Okay.
But
I will. Thank you.
yeah, definitely.
I was planning to order it this week. I hadn't had a chance to yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I also wanted to point out, Amy, you brought this up, and Elaine, you did too, the Christmas card exchange. And I want to put a big shout out to Monica Hancock, because she has put together this Christmas card exchange for 2 years now for our support group. And so this year she asked me, because last year all the kids sent a card to my son because he was doing all of our video editing. And now that he's working full time, he's not doing much of the video editing anymore. I am. We got to find somebody else to do that. But Kelson Pickering, who has been working so diligently behind the scenes doing all of our graphic design, he is the recipient of all the kids' cards this year for SPED Homeschool. And so I just want to thank you, Monica, for taking time out to get that list together, because that means a lot to our kids. I know your kids are already receiving cards, I'm assuming. And
yes, my kids have received several, and they're just so excited every time they get one. So I promise mine are going out by the end of the week. They're getting there.
Oh, that's great.
yeah, and I send out ones from SPED Homeschool to all the kids as well. So the mine are in process. I got them all addressed today.
Singapore.
Are they going to Singapore? I didn't see. So I see Diana's address on the list.
I'm sorry, I didn't jump in on that in time, apparently. But thanks for the thought.
We'll send you e-cards.
Okay, thanks.
I was gonna say we'll have to send it through the e-card, definitely.
Yeah. So how long does the mail take to get to you?
It really only takes, if you just send it the cheapest way, about 2 weeks. So
It's not bad.
it's really not bad.
Yeah.
No, when you consider how far away we really are, it's amazing. You know that it travels back and forth. You can get it here overnight if you are willing to pay enough. You know. So,
Well, yeah. It's probably faster than you could actually fly.
yes, that's very true. I don't know how they do that, but they
I
sometimes
don't
do it.
either. Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, there's such a need over here for more special needs support and things, and it's just it's so far behind the states, you know, than in what certainly behind what y'all are doing, but just a huge need and a growing homeschooling community too. So
Right, and the Philippines even more so, I know,
Yeah.
and that's where the Global Home Education Conference is next year, and I'm hoping to take a group of us over to that conference next year,
Yeah.
because we get a lot of hits on our website from the Philippines, and also have people in our support group from there.
yeah.
It definitely is growing, and that's exciting, just to see that parents are feeling like they're confident enough to reach out, find the resources, and with the web, you know, being the way it is, that makes it a lot easier to find what they're looking for.
Well, and to have a government that allows you to do it is a rare thing over here too. It is very challenging, even in Singapore, as free as it is to homeschool your kids. You just don't have support and resources, and you still have to have government permission. You have to appeal for that.
So even you had to do that?
I'm not homeschooling right now, partly because of the difficulty in doing that. Our company finances the school, a very expensive private school for our children, as part of sending my husband. So we're trying that this year. It's bumpy. I'm having to do a lot of advocacy and a lot of educating people because they're so far behind. But so I'm not sure. We may end up homeschooling again with some of the children. I think that's really a strong possibility. But for right now, we knew that with acclimating and trying to get adjusted to the new country and not knowing any resources over here, that I would not get much homeschooling done. And with Jonathan being in high school, we couldn't afford to lose a year.
Right.
So we're soldiering on right now, but I'm networking a lot with the homeschooling community here and learning what's available. And there's some wonderful people over here doing it, but they need a lot of help.
Yeah.
We'll send Peggy over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Thanks for volunteering me. Actually, I'm starting to do some master classes now. I'm recording my first one tomorrow with Indiana's state homeschool organization, and I'm going to be doing one with Schoolhouse Rocked after the new year. So they're starting to put together those for their members, so that if you want more professional training, I guess is what they're trying to target that towards.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of resources coming around like that too. But definitely our Tuesday night videos. I mean, I'm learning so much by the interviews I do every Tuesday night. It just amazes me that there's so many experts out there that are so willing to share their resources and stretch our minds and teach us different ways on how to teach. And so yeah, that's great.
They're turning into pumpkins.
Chandler. Sorry.
Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Something about ole, 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 and a lot of booms and crashes. Not a good combination.
Well, I'll let you guys see your parting comments. We've hit the end of our hour and don't want to stay on all night long. But yeah, who would like to say? I guess wrap up what you want to say while you're on here to our audience. And
Well, I'll start. I've got to go give somebody his medicine. So
okay.
bless everybody, and God's blessings on your celebration of Christ's birth.
Oh, thank you, Elaine.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chandler, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
We got tears. Sorry.
I can't.
There in Singapore.
Thank you. It was so lovely to see you all, and Merry Christmas. It doesn't feel very Christmassy over here. It's tropical. You can see my garb is not very Christmassy, but
yeah, it's okay. You just think cold thoughts and
yeah, very much so.
you can turn up the air conditioning and have a hot cocoa.
That's what I do. But I'm still praying for you guys and praying for your work there, and keep up the good work. Don't give up.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Diana.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
I'll see y'all later.
Okay.
Bye, Diana.
Bye.
So how's John doing?
He's better.
Okay.
There was some kind of crash to the kitchen. I don't know what it was, but
Well, I'll let you say your parting goodbyes, and then you can go discover what's in there. I'm sure I'll get a text later on.
Oh, I think he had some help. I think there was some 7-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
So
Usually the one that you think did it wasn't the one who did it. 'Cause Hi, Chandler.
So, it's my turn. Thank you. It's just about making it about the family is what we're trying to do, and just keeping it simple, and like Tracy said, just focusing on those few little things that are so important and so that really stick with you, but just just not overscheduling it. And my family likes to do Christmas carols and things like that, and so just making it fun. We got lots of cousins, and so we're going to enjoy cousin time and play time, and just enjoy. That's what we did at Thanksgiving. And
it's the time when you can get together with family and you build those relationships with extended family, grandmas and grandpas. And I know your kids, you all live together. So, but I'm sure there are special memories that your kids are just going to have over the holidays with your parents. And that's neat that we can continue doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my kids are so excited that all my siblings are coming to Texas because my brothers are crazy and they love that. Even though my kids are now adults, they're like, when are Joe and Dan coming? So yes. Mm-hmm.
So fun. So, well, thank you, Peggy, for all you do.
Oh, you're welcome.
We appreciate it. So
Thank you.
SPED Homeschool has been a very big blessing to me and has helped me through my learning curve my first year and learning not to try and do it all the time and just take a break.
That really is the key. Yep, definitely.
Give yourself grace and take a break.
Give yourself grace. Take a rest. God has it all worked out. You just have to follow his plan. So yes. And Christmas is about him. So let's do that. Well, thanks, Amy. I'm gonna close with everyone else who wasn't here that definitely wanted to share their greetings, but had kid activities, traveling things. Everybody had a lot of things going on. So I appreciate those of you who made the time and came on live. And for the rest of the team, they just wanted to say to everyone Merry Christmas and that they wish they could have been here, but they just couldn't. So some just because of reception issues. But anyways, we just appreciate all of you and want you to know just how special you are to be part of our community. And we're just excited about the new year to come. And next week, I will not be broadcasting. I'm actually on a mandatory vacation, according to my husband. And so I'm taking the week off of broadcasting. But the following week, I want you to join me. I'm just going to be by myself, and I'm going to be talking about the different individuals from the Nativity story and sharing some encouragement with you about how they responded to God's call through the Christmas story. That is an encouragement to parents who have special needs children. And so we're just going to walk through the Christmas story, and we're going to take a look at vignettes through the story and how just each of these individuals show us how to live and to be at peace with what God is doing in each of our lives and through our children. And so I hope that'll be an encouragement to you. And so that'll be in 2 weeks on December 18th. And hi, Benjamin. Good to see you here. I don't know if I can show that. Yep, there you are. So, but thank you for joining us in our first annual Christmas party. I'm hoping we can do this again next year. And so you can watch the replay on our Facebook page. This will stay on there. And I'm thinking we'll probably move it to our YouTube channel as well. So, but again, check out Amy's cookie recipe on the YouTube channel that just went up, and the SPED Homeschool YouTube channel. And subscribe, because we'd like to see you there. And we also want to thank the Learning Disabilities Foundation of America for partially funding this broadcast. And just from viewers like you, you can go to our website, and it's the end of your giving. We have a donate button on our menu, and any donation you make to SPED Homeschool is tax deductible. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and you will get a receipt when you donate. So we appreciate that. That helps our ministry keep going. So thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas. And I hope you just have some wonderful family celebrations this season, teaching your kids just about the real reason of the season and resting in getting done what you get done and building those memories and traditions together. So thanks, everybody, and good night.